I stand in my backyard reception, wedding dress catching the glow of string lights overhead. Everything is perfect: the weather, the flowers, Ethan's smile as he talks with his college friends by the makeshift dance floor. For once in my life, I've done something right. Mom approaches, wearing that specific smile I've seen 1,000 times. It's the one that doesn't reach her eyes, the one that precedes something unpleasant disguised as love. "Valerie, darling, you look beautiful." She smooths invisible wrinkles from my sleeve. "I need to tell you our little plan." "Plan?" My stomach tightens immediately. There shouldn't be any plans on my wedding day beyond what Ethan and I had arranged. We've decided to give the car to Tessa. Mom says it so casually, like she's commenting on the weather or complimenting the caterer. My brain stutters. "What car?" "The Subaru, of course." She gestures across the yard where Ethan's parents stand near a sleek silver Subaru Outback, red ribbon still tied to the door handle. The $22,000 wedding gift they'd presented to us just hours ago. Tessa needs it more than newlyweds with 2 incomes. I glance past Mom's shoulder and spot my sister. Tessa stands 20 feet away in that shimmering silver gown that cost more than my first month's rent. She notices me looking, gives a little finger wave, and jingles what looks unmistakably like car keys. 120 guests laugh and dance around us, completely unaware of what's happening. "I don't understand," I say, though I do. I understand perfectly. It's just another Tuesday in the Anderson family. "Honey." Mom pats my arm. "Tessa's still building her career. You and Ethan are established. It's just a car. Don't make this a thing." The warning in her voice is clear as bells. Across the reception, my new husband notices my expression. Ethan excuses himself from his conversation and starts toward me, brow furrowed with concern. My stomach constricts painfully. It's that old familiar feeling, the same one I've had since childhood, the hollow ache of being overlooked, of being expected to sacrifice. I remember when I was 12, Mom telling me to give my bigger bedroom to Tessa. "You're older, you understand," she'd said. And I did understand, even then. I understood that Tessa's wants would always come before my needs. At 18, I worked 2 part-time jobs to buy a used Toyota with 120,000 miles on it. Meanwhile, my parents praised Tessa's academic achievements, never mentioning that her free time for studying came at the cost of my exhaustion. Ethan witnessed this pattern throughout our 7-year relationship. The holidays where Tessa got the newest iPhone while I got bath soaps. The Sunday dinners where Mom served Tessa's favorite meals. The family vacations planned around Tessa's schedule. Now this, my wedding day. Ethan reaches me, his hand gentle on my elbow. "Everything okay?" he asks, but his eyes say he already knows the answer. Mom turns to a nearby group of guests. "Tessa needs reliable transportation," she explains to my former college roommate Madison, who looks utterly bewildered. They have 2 incomes after all. My sister's smug smile burns like acid on my skin. "It's just a car, honey," Mom repeats, waving her hand dismissively. My hands begin to tremble, but when I speak, my voice comes out steadier than I expected. "Excuse me a moment." I open my wedding clutch, a small beaded thing that barely holds my lipstick and a tissue. Mom watches, confusion clouding her features as I pull out a sealed envelope. "You're giving away our wedding gift, Mom?" The question cuts through the ambient chatter of the reception. Several heads turn. Ethan stands firmly beside me, his presence solid and reassuring. For the first time, I feel the strength of our partnership as more than just romantic love. "This is an alliance. Valerie, this isn't the time or place," Mom hisses, her smile straining. "When would be better? After Tessa drives away in our car?" I hold the envelope between us. "Did you even ask Ethan's parents if you could redistribute their gift?" Across the yard, James and Barbara Thompson look over, clearly confused by the gathering tension near their daughter-in-law. Mom's face flushes. "This is a family matter." "Yes, it is, I agree. And Ethan is my family now." My father approaches, concern etched in his features. He opens his mouth, but remains silent, as he has my entire life when Mom makes these decisions. I open the envelope and remove a single sheet of paper. This is a notarized document stating that wedding gifts cannot be transferred without my consent. My voice doesn't waver. "Ethan and I had it prepared last week." "You what?" Tessa shrieks, car keys clutched in her fist. The reception falls silent, tension spreading like wildfire through the gathered guests. Mom stares at me like she's never seen me before. Maybe she hasn't. I stand rooted in place, the notarized document trembling slightly between my fingers. Mom's face has transformed from confident authority to stunned disbelief. The reception around us grows unnaturally quiet. "There's more," I say, my voice stronger than I feel. I reach into my clutch again and pull out my phone. Tessa didn't just show up today expecting our car. Tessa takes a step backward, her silver dress catching the string lights. "Val, come on." I unlock my phone and turn the screen toward Mom. She snuck into our garage last night. The photo shows Tessa posing beside the ribbon-adorned Subaru, one hand on the hood, the other holding up a peace sign. The caption reads, "Finally got a ride that fits me." Dad steps forward, his hands raised placatingly. "She was just excited about the possibility, Valerie. Don't blow this out of proportion." "The possibility?" Ethan's voice rises beside me. "The possibility of taking our wedding gift without asking?" I swipe to another screen, a text exchange between Mom and Tessa from 3 weeks ago. Mom's message reads, "We'll handle it at the reception. Easier to present as decided than to ask permission." Ethan's parents make their way through the small crowd that's gathered. Barbara's face is flushed, her earrings catching the light as she shakes her head. James walks with purpose, his suit jacket unbuttoned, brow furrowed. "Catherine," Barbara says, "is this true? You told us this car was for Valerie and Ethan." Mom's smile returns, thin and strained. "Barbara, James, we're just making adjustments based on need. Surely you understand that families share resources." "Share?" I repeat. The word tastes bitter. "You didn't ask us to share. You announced you were taking. NEA?" Tessa steps forward now, her face arranging itself into the wounded expression she's perfected since childhood. "Why are you making such a scene, Val? It's just a stupid car." "If it's just a stupid car," Ethan says, his voice level, "then why do you need it so badly?" The whispered conflict has become a spectacle. Guests on the dance floor have stopped moving. The band's saxophone player holds his instrument mid-note, uncertain whether to continue. Mom leans in close, her perfume, the same scent she's worn since I was a child, suddenly cloying. "You're causing a scene over nothing. Think of the family shame." "Family shame," I repeat. The words unlock something in me. My therapist's voice echoes in my head. Patterns continue until decisively broken. For years I've nodded along to this truth while doing nothing about it. But standing here in white lace, I suddenly see with perfect clarity what my future holds if I back down again. This isn't about a car. It's about respect. It's about the life Ethan and I are building together. I remember our pre-wedding conversation, sitting on our living room floor, surrounded by half-packed moving boxes. "We need boundaries," Ethan had said, holding my hand. "Your family will keep taking until there's nothing left." I'd agreed then. Why is it so hard now? Because it's easier to surrender than to stand firm. Because I've built my entire identity around being the responsible one, the peacemaker, the daughter who understands. Tessa takes advantage of my momentary silence. "Mom's right. You're embarrassing yourself." "We're not running a charity, Tessa," Ethan says. His tone isn't unkind, just matter of fact. James steps forward and takes the notarized document from my hand. He reads it carefully, glasses perched on the end of his nose. "This appears legally binding to me," he says, handing it back. From the corner of my eye, I spot Madison discreetly holding up her phone, recording Mom's reaction. Our wedding planner moves among the guests, gently redirecting their attention toward the dessert table. Barbara places a steady hand on my shoulder. The weight of it surprises me, not heavy, but grounding. "Valerie, dear," she says, "what would you like to happen now?" Mom's eyes narrow. She would like to stop embarrassing us and behave like family. "No, Mom." The words come easily now. "I'm ending the tradition where Tessa gets whatever she wants, and I'm expected to smile about it." I pull a second envelope from my clutch, smaller, unmarked. This is a notice documenting unauthorized access to our property. Tessa entered our garage without permission to take photos with a car that doesn't belong to her. Dad steps between us. "This is a wedding, not a courtroom," he pleads, his voice cracking slightly. "Exactly," I reply. "So maybe we stop treating theft like love." The words hang in the air, true and painful and necessary. Mom's mouth opens and closes. For once, she has no ready response. I feel a hollow victory. My eyes burn with unshed tears, not from sadness, but from the sheer exhaustion of 31 years of this pattern, finally breaking. Ethan's arm encircles my waist. He turns toward the band, who still wait in suspended animation. "Play something," he says. The saxophone player nods, and a gentle melody fills the awkward silence. Ethan guides me away from my family, toward the dance floor. "You okay?" he whispers. "I'm not. But I will be. That car looks better on us anyway," I say, and the smile that breaks across his face is worth every uncomfortable moment. Behind us, I hear Tessa's voice rising again, but it sounds different now, distant, less powerful. Mom's hushed tones no longer carry the authority they once did. They're just voices now, not commandments. As Ethan and I move slowly across the dance floor, wedding guests gradually return to their conversations. The moment passes, but something fundamental has shifted. I catch Barbara's eye across the reception. She raises her champagne glass slightly, a silent toast. James stands beside her, nodding once, firmly. For the first time in my life, I've chosen my own path instead of the one laid out for me. The weight of expectation lifts slightly from my shoulders, and I stand taller in Ethan's arms as we reclaim our wedding day, one dance step at a time. 2 days later, I woke up to the ping of my phone. Not the gentle good morning text from Ethan I've grown accustomed to, but a barrage of notifications. My stomach tightens as I unlock the screen. Tessa's Facebook post glares up at me. "Some people love cars more than family. Praying for those who measure love in dollars instead of memories." The comments pour in beneath supportive friends, distant relatives, and of course, Mom, praying for those who forget where they came from. Family should always come first. Ethan stirs beside me. "What is it?" I turn the phone toward him. His jaw tightens as he scans the screen. "They're trying to rewrite history," I say, scrolling through more notifications. A family group text has erupted overnight. Cousins and aunts expressing concern about my behavior at the wedding. "Aunt Deborah, Valerie, we're all worried about you. This isn't like you." Uncle Robert, "Wedding memories should be treasured, not ruined with petty arguments." Ethan takes the phone from my hand and sets it face down on the nightstand. "Let them talk. We know what happened." My phone buzzes again. Madison has sent a link to a GoFundMe page. The title makes my blood boil. "Left carless by betrayal. Help a sister start fresh." The description is worse. My sister and her husband decided on their wedding day that they needed a second car more than I needed my first. Help me overcome this family betrayal and get back on my feet. 2. "She's raised almost $400 already," I whisper. Ethan's laugh surprises me. People are paying to be part of the drama. I refresh the page. A new donation appears, $15 from someone named Reality, with the comment, "Maybe get a job instead of a handout?" A startled laugh escapes me. The sound is foreign to my ears, almost rusty from disuse. When was the last time I laughed about anything involving Tessa or Mom? "We should just ignore all this," Ethan says, pulling me closer. "It's exactly what they want to drag us into their narrative." My phone rings. The wedding photographer, Linda. "Valerie, I wanted to give you a heads up. Your mother called asking me to delete some photos from the reception. Specifically, the ones showing your conversation by the gift table." My hand tightens around the phone. "And?" "I told her those photos belonged to you and Ethan. She wasn't happy." "Thank you for letting me know. I'll send everything to your secure cloud folder today, including the raw files." After we hang up, Ethan is already dressed and pulling out his laptop. "We need to document everything. Screenshots of all the posts, texts, and GoFundMe. Everything." I nod, finally understanding what's happening. This isn't just about a car. It's about the story they're trying to tell, one where I'm the villain, the ungrateful daughter who turned her back on family. Ethan pauses. "I think we should change the locks, just in case." "They wouldn't just walk into our house," I say, but even as the words leave my mouth, I know better. Boundaries have never existed in my family. "Better safe than sorry," Ethan says, already searching for locksmiths. The doorbell rings 3 hours later. Through the peephole, I see Mom and Dad standing on our porch, Mom clutching her purse with white knuckles. "They're here," I called to Ethan in the kitchen. He appears beside me, squeezing my shoulder. "Ready?" I take a deep breath and open the door. Mom's eyes are red-rimmed, tears threatening to spill. I can't believe my own daughter would humiliate me like this. Dad steps forward, hands spread in a placating gesture. "Your mother hasn't slept since the wedding, Valerie." "Neither have I reply, but for different reasons." They follow us into the living room. Mom perches on the edge of the sofa like she might flee at any moment. Dad stands behind her, hands on her shoulders. "After everything we've done for you," Mom says, voice trembling. "All the sacrifices, all the support. This is how you repay us?" The familiar guilt rises in my throat, but something else rises faster clarity. "What sacrifices, Mom? What support?" My voice is calm, steadier than I've ever heard it. "When I needed braces, you said we couldn't afford them, but Tessa got hers the same year. When I worked 2 jobs to pay for college, you co-signed Tessa's student loans. When I saved for 3 years to buy my first car, you gave Tessa money for a down payment on hers." Mom's mouth opens, then closes. "When I got into Cornell but couldn't afford to go, you said sometimes we have to be practical. When Tessa got into UCLA, you took out a second mortgage. When I started my business, you told everyone it was just a hobby. When Tessa decided to try photography for 6 months, you bought her a $2,000 camera." Each example lands like a stone dropping into still water, creating ripples of recognition in the room. I've spent my entire life accepting less, so Tessa could have more, but not this time. Not on my wedding day. Not with a gift that wasn't yours to give. Mom's shock is almost comical. She's never heard me speak this way. I've never spoken this way. The words feel foreign but right on my tongue. "This isn't about a car," I continue. "This is about respect, something I've never asked for but have always deserved." My phone buzzes on the coffee table. Madison has sent another text. "Stay strong, I've got your back." Simultaneously, Ethan's phone pings with a message from his parents. "Dinner at our place tonight? We want to show our support." Mom's gaze darts between our phones. "Who's that? Are you talking about us to strangers?" "They're not strangers," Ethan says. "They're our support system, people who respect boundaries." Dad shifts uncomfortably. "Valerie, we just want to resolve this quietly. Family matters should stay in the family." "I agree," I say. "And Ethan is my family now." "This isn't you," Mom whispers. "Someone's turned you against us." I stand, suddenly tired of the circular conversation. "I need you both to leave now." Mom's eyes widen. "We drove all this way." Without calling first, I interrupt. Another boundary crossed. "Family doesn't treat family this way," Mom says, her final weapon. I meet her gaze steadily. Exactly my point. That's why this needs to change. For the first time in my life, I see genuine uncertainty in my mother's eyes. The realization that her usual tactics, tears, guilt, family obligation have lost their power. Dad glances at Mom, then back at me. I catch something in his expression, a flicker of understanding, maybe even respect. When the door closes behind them, Ethan wraps his arms around me. "You did it." My phone buzzes again. "My therapist. Emergency session available this week if needed." "We need to document everything," I say, moving to the laptop. "Every text, every social media post, every phone call." Ethan nods, already pulling up the wedding video. "We'll save it all, just in case." Together we draft an email to the entire family, setting clear boundaries for future contact. No unannounced visits, no public shaming. No manipulation through other family members. "What if they ignore it?" Ethan asks. "Then we have decisions to make." I save the draft, not quite ready to send it. We spent the evening creating contingency plans. If the harassment continues, if they show up at work, if they contact Ethan's family again. For the first time, I feel ahead of the game instead of desperately playing catch-up. The next week, I fold another sweater and tuck it neatly into the suitcase sprawled across our bed. Ethan stands at the closet, pulling down a stack of jeans. "Ready for the great escape?" he asks, a wry smile playing on his lips. "It's not an escape," I correct him, but there's no bite in my words. It's a strategic repositioning. The Pacific Coast Highway beckons a spontaneous week-long road trip we'd discussed for months but never committed to. Now, the timing feels perfect. Not running away, but moving toward something better. "Did you install it?" I ask, nodding toward the garage. "A tracking device is in place," Ethan confirms, "and the dash cam is recording. If anyone tries anything with the car, we'll have evidence." The contested Subaru, our wedding gift that Mom and Tessa tried to appropriate, has become more than transportation. It's a symbol of our boundaries, our marriage, our united front. I never imagined my first major marital challenge would involve defending our property from my own family. Good. I check my phone. confirming the scheduled email that will deliver our boundary statement to the entire family tomorrow morning. We'll live well instead of fighting. That's the best revenge. Ethan pauses, coming to stand beside me. Are you sure you want to do this? It feels like we're sneaking away. That's exactly what we're doing, I admit, touching his arm. But not because we're afraid, because their emergency isn't our emergency. While Ethan finishes packing, I double-check our home security system. New cameras cover the front door and driveway. Locks changed 3 days ago. Mail forwarded to a P.O. box. It feels excessive, but Mom's escalating behavior has forced our hand. Do you think they'll notice we're gone before the email hits? Ethan asks. I glance at my phone. 3 missed calls from Mom already today. They'll notice, I say. But by then, we'll be watching the sunset from Big Sur. The doorbell rings. My spine stiffens. Ignore it, Ethan says, zipping the suitcase closed. The doorbell chimes again, followed by insistent knocking. My phone buzzes with a text from my coworker, Lisa. Your mom and sister are here at the design firm. They're asking for you. Should I tell them you called in sick today? My throat tightens. They're at my workplace. What? Ethan takes the phone, reading the message. That crosses a line. Another text arrives. Your mom is crying. Tessa's telling everyone you're destroying the family. I sink onto the bed, the room spinning slightly. Mom's turning on the waterworks for my coworkers. Ethan's face hardens. They think they can manipulate you through your job. Lisa sends a final message. Catherine just told my supervisor that you're having a nervous breakdown, and the family is concerned. Hot anger floods my veins, burning away the initial shock. She's trying to undermine my professional reputation now. While I call my supervisor to explain the situation, Ethan checks his own phone and swears under his breath. The GoFundMe, he says, showing me the screen. It's reached $3,000. Tessa's added a new update, claiming we've threatened legal action against her for speaking the truth about family abuse. The doorbell rings a third time. Ethan peeks through the blinds. It's your dad. My father's voice carries through the door. Valerie, please. Your mother might need medical attention from all this stress. You need to talk to her. Thanks for watching to like tier. I sent a quick email to HR documenting the workplace visit, attaching security camera screenshots Lisa forwarded showing Mom approaching my colleagues. My voice remains steady when I finally respond to my father. Dad, if Mom needs medical attention, call 911. Not me. She's your mother, he pleads. And I'm your daughter, I reply. But that doesn't make me responsible for her emotional manipulation. After he leaves, Ethan's phone pings with messages from an unknown number. Your wife is turning you against your family. Is that the kind of woman you want to spend your life with? Ethan blocks the number without responding. Ready to hit the road? I take one last look around our home, wondering what state it will be in when we return. Let's go. The Subaru purrs to life. As we pull away, I resist the urge to look back. Their emergency isn't my emergency, I repeat, as much for myself as for Ethan. 2 days later, at a coastal hotel with windows that frame the Pacific, Lisa sends more updates. Security cameras captured Tessa's entire workplace performance. The footage shows her knocking over a potted plant when my supervisor refused to give her my personal schedule. Your mom tried contacting my parents, Ethan says, hanging up his phone. Dad shut her down immediately, said he wasn't getting involved in manipulation tactics. The boundary email has done its work. 3 cousins have messaged to say they're questioning Catherine's version of events. The GoFundMe has been flagged for investigation after I submitted evidence contradicting Tessa's claims. That evening, my father called again. His voice sounds different, tired, resigned. Catherine, maybe we went too far. I hear him say in the background before he realizes I've answered. Valerie, he begins, your sister is facing some consequences at her job. That scene at your workplace got back to her boss. That's unfortunate, I say, finding I mean it. Despite everything, I don't want Tessa to suffer. I just want the pattern to stop. Could you call her? Smooth things over? He asks. No, Dad. This isn't my mess to clean up. After we hung up, I posted a photo of Ethan and me watching the sunset from our scenic overlook. No caption, just the image of our happiness. Within minutes, college friends and colleagues comment with heart emojis and supportive messages. Madison texts privately. Everyone sees what they're doing. We're all Team Valerie. The contrast couldn't be clearer, our peaceful coastal escape versus the chaos they've created. While they're scrambling to control the narrative, we're watching waves crash against cliffs, taking long walks on empty beaches, and discovering quaint bookstores in seaside towns. That night, an anonymous email arrives. I've seen this pattern for years. Your mother did the same to her own sister in the 1990 seconds. Stay strong. Some of us recognize what's happening. I show Ethan, who pulls me close. We're doing the right thing. In bed that night, listening to distant waves, I realize our marriage has grown stronger through this crisis. We've faced our first major challenge and held firm together. I love you, Ethan whispers in the darkness. I love you too, I reply, feeling the weight of years lifting from my shoulders. My phone chimes with a notification. It's a social media update from Tessa, uncharacteristically brief. Family is complicated. For the first time, there's no accompanying comment from Mom. The first crack in their unified front has appeared. 7 days later, my phone buzzes with another notification. Mother's voice crackles through the speaker, each sob perfectly timed for maximum effect. I'm your mother, Valerie. How could you abandon me like this? Her voice breaks in exactly the places it always has when she wants something. After everything I've done for you. I set the phone down on the kitchen counter. Ethan glances up from his coffee, eyebrows raised in silent questions. The usual? I say, sliding my finger across the screen to delete the message. Apparently, we're tearing the family apart by not answering calls. Ethan's phone lights up next. Family emergency gathering this Saturday, he reads. Your father sent this to everyone, says we need to come home immediately. A text arrives from my cousin Janet. You should really come. Your mom is beside herself. Whatever happened can be fixed. I've got one from your dad too. I show Ethan the message that appeared moments later. Valerie, I think you've misunderstood some things. Come Saturday and we can talk like adults. There's a video from Tessa, Ethan says, tilting his screen toward me. My sister stares into the camera, her expression solemn. Val, I just want to say I'm sorry if I hurt you. The rehearsed cadence is unmistakable. Mother's words coming through Tessa's mouth. Family should forgive each other. That's what Mom always says. I close my eyes and breathe deeply. The emergency is that their control is slipping. The messages don't stop. Aunt Linda calls Mother's concerning state. Uncle Robert emails about doing the right thing. My cousin Brad texts that blood is thicker than water. Each message carries the same undercurrent: come back, apologize, restore the old order. Then Mother escalates. A formal letter arrives, legal letterhead making it look important. She's threatening to contest your inheritance from Grandma. Ethan says, scanning the document. Says you're not of sound mind right now. My phone buzzes with texts from former high school friends. Heard you're going through some stuff. Your mom's worried sick about your mental health. Mother's newest Facebook post appears in my notifications. Sometimes the people we love change so dramatically, we don't recognize them anymore. Prayers for my eldest daughter during this difficult time. Tessa follows with her own post. When someone's personality changes completely, it's usually a cry for help. Family intervention might be the only answer. Tusi. The final blow comes when my cousin forwards an invitation to my parents' wedding anniversary party next month. In elegant script, come celebrate the healing of our family. It would be so easy, I whisper, staring at all the messages spread across our kitchen table. Just go, smile, pretend it never happened, make it all go away. Ethan sits beside me, his hand warm on mine. Would it, though? Would it really go away? Later that evening, Ethan looks up from his laptop. Do you think a complete cutoff is necessary? Maybe some limited contact with boundaries? The question catches me off guard. You're the one who said, I know. I support whatever you decide. He closes the laptop. These are still your parents, your sister. I replay Mother's tearful voice message in my mind. The familiar ache spreads through my chest, that childhood feeling of desperate responsibility. What if I'm overreacting? I whisper, voicing the fear that's been haunting me. What if this whole thing is just me being dramatic about a car? Ethan sits beside me on the couch. Let's think this through, not from a place of anger or hurt, but clarity. We spend hours dissecting every manipulation, every guilt trip, every instance where I was expected to give while Tessa took. We map the patterns going back to childhood, the way Mother always positioned herself as the victim whenever her control was questioned. It's not about the car, I say finally, the realization settling into my bones. It never was. The next morning, I drafted a letter, not with rage or vindictiveness, but with a surgeon's precision. To my family, I write, after careful consideration, I am establishing these non-negotiable boundaries. The letter lays out clear terms: no unannounced visits, no gifts with strings attached, no social media posts about me without permission. Any violation will result in 6 months of no contact. Before any relationship can resume, family therapy will be required, with a therapist of my choosing. To leave no room for misinterpretation, I attach documentation. A timeline of incidents spanning 20 years, from the bedroom I was forced to surrender at 12 to the wedding day car incident. The wedding video showing Mother's manipulation attempt in full context. Letters from friends who witnessed the pattern over years. Financial records showing I've supported myself entirely since 19, while Tessa received ongoing assistance. A letter from my therapist, unnamed, explaining the dynamics of family scapegoating. With Ethan beside me at the DMV, we transfer the car registration solely into our names. We're not responding to the emergency summons. I tell Ethan, as we prepare to deliver our response. We do this on our terms. The package arrives at my parents' house on Thursday morning, 2 days before their planned emergency gathering. Copies simultaneously land in the mailboxes of every extended family member who had pressured us to reconcile. Mother calls within an hour, her voice shrill with shock. What is this? You can't possibly expect. Those are my terms, I say calmly. I'm not angry. I don't want revenge. I want peace. Tessa posts a mocking screenshot of my boundary letter on Instagram. By evening, she deleted it after multiple family members commented that her post proves my point. Uncle Robert calls, his tone subdued. I had no idea things were this bad, Valerie. Aunt Linda texts, we won't be attending the intervention on Saturday. The most surprising call comes from my father. I've been reading through your timeline, he says, his voice uncharacteristically quiet. There are things here I didn't see happening under my own roof. A long pause. We should have done better by you, Valerie. 2 days later, Mother leaves a voicemail, her voice smaller than I've ever heard it. I might have been unfair sometimes. I just wanted the best for both my girls. Ethan forwards me Tessa's latest Facebook rant. Must be nice when mom stops defending you after 30 years of always taking your side. The family emergency gathering is canceled. The anniversary party invitations are revised without mention of family healing. The threatened legal action regarding my inheritance quietly disappears. 3 weeks pass without a single contact attempt, the longest silence in my adult life. On a clear Sunday morning, Ethan tosses me the keys to our Subaru. Where to? I slip behind the wheel, adjusting the mirror. The reflection shows a woman who finally recognizes herself. Anywhere, as long as it's forward. We drive along the coast, windows down. The car that once symbolized my family's control now carrying us toward freedom. The irony doesn't escape me. In losing a family that demanded my constant surrender, I've found myself. The road stretches ahead, endless with possibility. I stand in our garden, fingers deep in soil, planting rosemary beside the thyme. 6 months have passed since the wedding, and here we are, Ethan and I, in our small cottage outside Portland, miles from the chaos we left behind. The graphic design business I launched 3 months ago already has more clients than I can handle. Our rescue dog, Pepper, lounges in a patch of sunlight nearby, her silver muzzle resting on crossed paws. The security system we installed after moving in rarely gets activated these days. Coffee's ready, Ethan calls from the kitchen window. Saturday morning coffee on the porch has become our ritual, along with evening walks with Pepper and Sunday pancakes where we compete to create the most ridiculous shapes. I brush dirt from my hands and breathe deeply. Our home smells of coffee, freshly turned earth, and peace, not the constant anxiety I grew up with. The mail arrives as I'm washing my hands. Ethan brings it in, sorting through bills and magazines before pausing at a pale blue envelope. It's from your mother, he says, hesitation in his voice. My chest tightens momentarily, but the feeling passes quickly. Let me see. Inside is a card with flowers on the front. My mother's handwriting fills the interior. We miss you. Family should forgive. I read it once, smile faintly, then tear it neatly in half. The same dismissive phrase she used at the wedding, but my response couldn't be more different. No rage burns in my stomach. No tears threaten to spill. Just quiet certainty. On our mantel sits a framed wedding photo, the moment of confrontation captured perfectly. Mom's shocked face, Ethan standing beside me, the envelope in my trembling hand. A year ago, that picture would have filled me with shame. Now it reminds me of the day I finally stood up. "You okay?" Ethan asks, watching me drop the torn card into the recycling bin. "Better than okay," I answered truthfully. The woman who spent 30 years being the responsible daughter, the perpetual fixer, the family peacekeeper, she's gone. In her place stands someone who recognizes her worth beyond usefulness to others. I've found more healing through deliberate living than through any therapy sessions. Boundaries don't break families. They define them. Later that evening, we celebrate what we jokingly call our boundary anniversary with takeout from our favorite Thai place. Ethan raises his glass in a toast. "To freedom," he says. "To peace," I add. Our new friends Jamie and Mark join us for dessert. These friendships, built on mutual respect, feel refreshingly uncomplicated. Without family drama draining my energy, my career has flourished too. The occasional pangs of loss still come birthdays, holidays, but they no longer control me. "You know what I've noticed?" Ethan says as our friends leave. "You stand taller now." Last week, a coworker confided in me about her manipulative sister. I shared my experience without bitterness, recommended resources that helped me, and watched understanding dawn in her eyes. I've started contributing anonymously to an online support group for others breaking generational patterns. It feels like purpose blooming from pain. The next evening, we drove along the Pacific coast in the same car that sparked so much conflict. Now it represents freedom rather than betrayal. I roll down the windows, letting salt air fill my lungs. I used to think home was where I grew up. I tell Ethan as we watch waves crash against rocks below. I spent years trying to earn my way back to a place that never truly welcomed me. The holiday season approaches, but for the first time, I feel no dread. The past isn't erased, it's contained. We park at a coastal overlook as sunset transforms the horizon into bands of orange and pink. I hold the car keys in my palm, feeling their weight, the weight of ownership, not just of a vehicle, but of my life. "Family isn't who you're born to," I whisper as Ethan takes my hand. "It's who stands beside you when the truth comes out." Beyond us, the vast horizon stretches endlessly, promising tomorrow. Have you ever had to draw a line with family to protect your peace? Valerie discovered that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is set boundaries. What would you have done in her shoes? Share your thoughts below.